1. Classicism. Rooted in ancient Greek and Roman ideals, values order, clarity, balance, reason, decorum, and harmony. Literature should imitate nature but within the bounds of rationality. Writers Aristotle, Poetics, Dryden, Pope. Nar 2. Neoclassicism. Revival of classical ideals in the 17th-18th centuries, age of Pope and Dryden. Emphasis on wit, satire, rationalism, rules, and decorum. Art must teach and delight. Writers Alexander Pope, Essay on Criticism, John Dryden. Hacker 3. Romanticism. 18th to 19th century movement reacting against neoclassicism. Emphasized imagination, individualism, emotion, nature, the sublime. Interest in folklore, mysticism, and rebellion. Writers Wordsworth, Coleridge, Byron, Keats, Shelley. 4. Humanism. Originated in the Renaissance. Focus on human values, dignity, free will, moral responsibility, revival of classical learning. Later extended into secular, literary, and cultural humanism. Thinkers Erasmus, Pico della Mirandola, Montaigne. Realism. 19th century literary movement aiming to depict life as it is without idealization. Focus on middle-class life, social issues, psychological depth. Writers Balzac, George Eliot, Tolstoy, Flaubert. 6. Magical realism. Origin. Latin America, 20th century. Blends fantasy with realism. Supernatural elements appear in everyday reality without surprise. Writers Gabriel Garcia Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude. Salman Rushdie, Isabel Allende. Naturalism. Offshoot of realism, influenced by Darwinism and determinism. Life is governed by heredity, environment, social conditions, leaving little room for free will. Writers Emile Zola, Stephen Crane, Theodore Dreiser. 8. Symbolism. Late 19th century French movement. Suggestive, indirect representation of truth through symbols, musicality, mysticism, reaction against realism and naturalism. Writers Baudelaire, Mallarmé, Rimbaud, Yeats, partly influenced. 9. Russian formalism. 1910s to 1930s Russia. Focus on literariness. Form, structure, devices over content. Key concepts: defamiliarization, estrangement, fabula, story versus sujet, plot. Thinkers Victor Shklovsky, Roman Jakobson. Hammer 10. Marxism. Based on Karl Marx's theories. Literature is shaped by material conditions, class struggle, ideology. Criticism. How texts reflect or resist capitalist structures. Thinkers Marx, Engels, Lukács, Raymond Williams, Terry Eagleton. 11. Structuralism. 1950s-60s, influenced by Saussure's linguistics. Meaning arises from systems of differences and structures, language, myths, culture. Thinkers Claude Lévi-Strauss, Roland Barthes. Hack 12. Post-structuralism. Reaction against structuralism, 1960s-70s. Language is unstable, meanings are multiple, shifting, undecidable. Thinkers Derrida, Barthes, Foucault. 13. Deconstruction. Method by Jacques Derrida. Exposes contradictions, binaries, gaps in a text. No single meaning. Texts undo themselves. Key concept: difference. Endless deferral of meaning. 14. Psychoanalytical criticism. Based on Freud, later Lacan. Literature as expression of unconscious desires, repression, Oedipus complex, dream work. Lacan, language shapes the unconscious, mirror stage, symbolic order. Critics Freud, Lacan, Ernest Jones. 15. Feminism. Examines literature through the lens of gender, patriarchy, representation of women. Waves. 1. Legal political rights, Mary Wollstonecraft. 2. Social roles, identity, Simone de Beauvoir. 3. Language, representation, intersectionality, Elaine Showalter, Judith Butler. 16. Post-colonialism. Studies effects of colonialism and imperialism on literature and culture. Concepts: hybridity, mimicry, subaltern, Orientalism. Thinkers: Edward Said, Homi Bhabha, Gayatri Spivak. Writers: Chinua Achebe, Salman Rushdie, Ngugi Thiong'o. 17. Modernism, early 20th century, 1890s to 1940s. Break with tradition, experimentation in form, stream of consciousness, fragmentation, alienation. Response to WWI, urbanization, technological change. Writers: T.S. Eliot, James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, Ezra Pound. 18. Postmodernism, mid to late 20th century. Reaction against modernism, rejects grand narratives. Features: playfulness, irony, parody, metafiction, intertextuality, pastiche. Thinkers, writers: Jean Baudrillard, Thomas Pynchon, Salman Rushdie.